This is Tim Clark, president of Wilson Golf, and obviously very unusual times in the golf business. So we're very excited to be joined by the reigning U.S. Open champion, Gary Woodland. Gary, how the heck are you, buddy?
I'm hanging in there. Like you said, it's crazy times right now, but we're getting by. We're getting by.
Well, most importantly, your family, the kids, everyone's healthy. Gabby, everyone's doing well, right?
They are. So we're just trying to entertain three kids under one roof, under 3 years old. So it's a struggle every day, but it is nice. It's nice to be home. It's nice to spend time with family. We don't usually get this time, you know that.
Yeah.
In our business, we're traveling full time. So for us to get an extended period of time at home, watch my kids grow up a little bit, it's pretty special.
Well, that's great. Can you give us an update on one of your team, Coach Pete Cowan? How is he feeling? I heard he did have the virus. Is that correct?
Yeah, he never officially got tested, but the ambulance came to his house, checked him out, told him he checked every box.
Got it.
For him to get tested in Europe, he had to go to the hospital, and he didn't want to do that. So he was miserable for a couple of weeks. Talked to him, checked in on him every day.
Good.
Really, really painful. His lungs were horrible. I think for him, the struggle of not being able to get outside and swing a golf club, he's obsessed with golf, and him not being able to get out there and swing a golf club and hit a couple chip shots hurt him just as much as the virus did. But he's doing better. It was a long road, but we're all happy that he was doing better.
Yeah, no, glad to hear he's doing well. He's a great guy. I think I said one thing about you, Gary, is that from your mom and dad to the team of people you have around you, you have quality people, and glad to hear everybody's healthy. On a serious note, back to golf. So you've been in lockdown, right? You were down in South Florida, couldn't play. So what's Gary Woodland do? Obviously, great family time, but there are 24 hours in the day still.
A big deal for me. I've been so structured my whole life. Especially when you get in the game of golf, I have my days planned out for me. So now I get in a situation where I don't have golf. I have nothing else going on. So I normally would have gone crazy during this time. So I got really structured. I do the exact same thing. I got very routine oriented day planned out for me every day. I took 4 weeks off where I didn't touch a club. I started back last week. I worked with Phil Kenyon on putting. I got in contact with him. We did a bunch of FaceTime. I have an hour putting every day now. We have some drills we go through. So I have that mapped out. I have my training mapped out. I'm eating healthy. The family goes on a walk every day. But it's nice because the day flows. I have something to look forward to every day. I know I'm getting better with the putting. Today is a new day. I've been 5 weeks off now from playing. I'm going to start hitting balls today for the first time this afternoon. In my basement, in my simulator. So I'll start adding that in an hour a day. So I'll be practicing 2 hours a day with the training. It'll be a full day, but it's time for me to start getting back to work. We're scheduled to come back in about 7 weeks. So that gives me 7 weeks to really work on some things, make some changes, tighten some things up with my coaches. Like we're doing, virtual stuff right now. I'll be doing FaceTime and doing Skype and do whatever I can with my coaches to make sure I'm dialed in and ready to go when we come back.
So that brings me to a less serious question. So now with Kansas, the Jayhawks being the number one ranked NCAA team, are you buying a national championship ring or anything? Or that was
we got to be. We were unanimous number one place. It's not like we were just number one.
Unanimous.
That was hard. You feel for those seniors. You feel for those kids. A couple kids have turned pro since then. We had a great team. You never know what's going to happen in the NCAA tournament, but that's what makes it so fun to watch. But you feel for those kids. They had a great team this year. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to hang a banner, but I would. We're
you might hang one in the house up there in Lawrence, knowing you.
2020 champs.
Let's talk a little bit about the tour now. Obviously, like you said, for us, this is usually the busiest time of the year with tournaments, and obviously, right now you'd be getting prepared for defending your U.S. Open title. Talk about the schedule. What does that do to you? How much playing will you do? When will you play? It's got to be a unique situation because you are very structured in the events you played in.
I am, and I've pretty much played a very similar schedule for the last 3 or 4 years. So it has been different. And like you said, I've been off now for 5 weeks. For the first 3-4 weeks, I was enjoying it. When the Masters hit, it really hit home. And I'm like, you work so hard for Augusta, and then you don't have it. That's when I started putting again, started getting some work in. So now I'm to the point where I'm looking at what's coming up. Like I said, we have 7 weeks off before the tour comes back at Colonial. I'm planning on playing
You
Colonial.
are okay.
I if the tour starts on time, which there's, it's still a little bit up in the air if we get to start there. If we do, I will plan on playing the first 3 events, which I've only played Colonial one time. I've only played Hilton Head one time, and I've played Travelers, but it's been 3 years, I think. So the first 3 tournaments out of the gate, I want to get my feet wet, get going, kind of get you how you feel against the rest of the tour. But then from there, we have some big tournaments coming up with World Golf Championships, Memorial, and then you get to the playoffs and you have majors right after that lined up, and the PGA right before the playoffs. So I have a lot of big golf. I want to get going. You've had a lot of time off. I want to get playing, so I will play more than I typically do.
Okay, and then back to that. So talk to obviously the majors are always critical, and then obviously the FedEx Cup playoffs is a huge time in a golfer's career. So walk me through now, and let's not forget the Ryder Cup's in there, right? And currently, if I keep my standings correct, I think you're in the 4th position, so you're really in solid position going into this. So talk about that being from a season that's usually spread out over many months. This is all going to happen in about a 6-month window, 5 actually.
We changed our schedule last year to where we kind of have a major every month, starting with the players in March. Now we're going to have 3, 4, you throw the Ryder Cup, you have 3 or 4 majors within a month almost. It will be a completely different schedule, but that's what I'm doing now. I'm training hard on my body to get ready for that big run. I've refreshed my mind mentally, trying to get mentally prepared for all the travel and all the big events coming up, because for us, usually the golf is the easy part. The travel, it gets a little wearing, but the golf part's easy. It's the mental drain. It's the obligations during a major championship and the media pulling you here and there. There's a lot that goes on off the golf course that really drains you, where the golf part's the easy part. So trying to get my mind fresh, trying to get my body fresh, knowing that I'm going to play more golf and more big tournaments at the end of the year than I usually do.
It's funny. You talk about the off course distractions and the mental part of that, whether it's media or appearances or this or that. So my question to you is, what was, at the BMW last year, we had that 5-hour dinner at your hotel with Team Wilson. How did that work into your day?
The dinners are easy. That's a little more enjoyable.
Okay.
They're running here and there. Dinner, we can sit there and have a drink and relax a little bit. That's the easy part.
But remember, that dinner went forever. I mean, we sat down at like 7, and finally you were like, I got to go to bed.
That's my best time.
That was great stuff. And then again, off course. So talk to the fans a little bit about what life was like as a PGA Tour winner, which obviously you have 3 PGA Tour wins, and then what life was like as a major winner and what the differences were.
Yeah, it was a big difference. When I won my first term in 2011, you kind of move up a category. Tour winner, obviously it's hard to win, but you get a little bit more respect. Your name's out there. You get better tee times. You get a little bit, there's a perks that come with all that. And you win a couple more, you continue to kind of grow that totem pole a little bit. When you win a major, for me, at least when I won my major, everything seems to be different. Everybody knows where you're at. It's hard to fly under the radar. Sometimes even winning a PGA tournament, you can still get your work done. You can still kind of slide in. You don't have a lot going on. I have a lot more obligations now. There's not much I can do at a golf course where it's not being seen, through whether it's the media, whether it's other players, whether it's caddies, whatever it is, or fans. There's a lot more that goes with it, which is fine. You want that. You work so hard to get to be able to that top tier, but there's a lot that comes with it, which is great. But the big thing for me is once you get a taste of it, you want more of it. And now we're working hard. We're trying to get more because we don't want to step back. We want to keep going forward.
Well, it's funny, again, I'm sure you get, that U.S. Open win was an amazing round of golf. And I remember the night Duffy and I were talking, I made that decision to fly out in the morning, and then I was getting there, and it was funny because my first thought was, well, I really was trying to lay low. I didn't want to get in a position where I put any pressure. You felt like I was there for anything other. Whatever happened was going to be fine. But I will say that I obviously got to walk that round with your mom and dad. And I think, to me, that'll always, no matter what happens in your career or my career, that 6 hours of that day was really special. And the way you handled the stress and the pressure. Truly a major champion. And I still go back to that, I'll never forget. I think it was what's the par 3? 12? Is that 12? Where are we at, Gary? 12.
Yeah.
And you flew that thing. I was next to the green with your father, and you hit, I don't know what you hit, but you and Butch.
5-iron. Six, 5.
Yeah, you and Butch need to relook at that one, because that thing, we were standing at the pin, and that thing was like 100 miles in the air. And I'm like, oh no. And then the funny one is then on the 13 tee, you hit that ball. It went a little right.
Almost out of bounds.
Right. Well, yeah. So to come back on 14 and hit the shot of the day, what went through your head? You had 2 holes where maybe it was a little loose.
It's funny because I've done a lot of stuff, but nobody's ever talked about that, where I kind of got out of there on 12 and 13. And I think that was the difference for me, because like everybody was talking, I was 0 for 7 when I was leading a golf tournament going into the final round. That shot on 12 was a horrible shot, and I got in a horrible position, and I ended up making bogey. If you watch me when I hit the shot, and I knew when I hit it off the tee box when it bounced way right that I was dead from where the pin was short sided there. You watch me, I just turn around and give my club to Butchie, and we'd just go on. There was no panic, there was no frustration. It was okay. Now it's the next shot. I got to go find a way to get this on the green and make my bogey and get out of here. You go to the next hole. I got lucky the ball didn't go out of bounds. I hit a blasted way right. We're over there. You're in a horrible situation, and I make one of the best swings I made all week and hit that 8-iron just over the green, make 4 and move on. That gave me confidence. I got out of position twice. I found a way to manage it, and then I got to 14. I hit a great drive, and I'm down there. And I'm a very aggressive player. My caddy Butchie is a very conservative guy, and it was the first time in 4 years where Butchie says, "Let's go, let's go." I was almost thinking layup. Justin Rose had just laid up. I was watching him. Butchie had done his homework. He knew it was one of the hardest wedge shots we have in the game. That third shot into 14 to that front left pin. He said, "You're not going to be able to get it close. Hit 3-wood over the green into the grandstand, into the camera tower, because you can get it up and down chipping over the green." So when I hit that, I initially thought I hit it over the green. I was saying sit down. Watching it afterwards, it just barely covered the bunker and ended up in a perfect spot. But that shot right there, I was able to get it up and down, gave me a 2-shot cushion, and really gave me what I needed to secure the victory there at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, that was awesome. Congratulations, Gary. Like I said, can't thank you enough. I got one last question, then we'll let you get on with your busy day schedule. Obviously winning the U.S. Open or playing Kapalua with me. Where do I rank? Is that like top 5, top 10, top 20?
Kapalua was more stress. We're searching for golf balls. We're flying around. We're walking up and down this big golf course. I'm glad we do. I look forward to doing that a lot more.
That was fun. Hey, Gary, thanks for your time. Congratulations. Take care of the family. And like I said, we'll look forward to seeing you back out on tour here shortly.
Cheers, man.
Thanks,
we'll talk
buddy.
to you soon, brother.
Best.